And Scott Drew, Baylor men's basketball coach, joins us on 365 Sports. And so it's good to have a brother in the same city when the other brother needs something, right?
It sure is, isn't it?
So,
by the way, we will bill him later.
So how did that kind of go about? Did he approach you, or you hear about it? How did that all work?
Oh, we were in practice, and Luke Simon got the call from GCU that all their basketball stuff is in Phoenix. So how can we help? So anyway, it's great that because they practice today, they'll have their stuff by tonight, but we'll be able to help them practice today. And I remember once we were in that situation, we were in Syracuse, and at one point it looked like we were going to have Syracuse uniforms on for the game. And I can tell you one thing. Syracuse would have won the game either way, you know? So, but it's great to be able to help them. Looking forward to seeing my brother and parents hopefully later tonight.
Scott, what has the week off been for you guys? I know you wanted to make a deeper run of the Big 12 tournament, but here you are, and you had that week off, and it looks like maybe you need it a little bit, especially if you're Langston and want to get some practices in.
Yeah, I can tell you that coaches love practice. Players love games. So we got better this week. Got healthier, shored up, and obviously.
We lose him?
No, hold on. Something happened here. There we go. Hold on. Sorry about that, Scott. There, go ahead.
Yes. Did you hear me, or did we cut out?
We cut out for just 1 second.
Oh, I said hopefully what we did was we're able to improve on the areas that we struggled in our two losses against Iowa State. And I know I feel good with where we're at. And now, most importantly, we got better and no one got injured.
Coach, does feeling, is there a different sense of urgency knowing that, hey, it's win or go home from here on out, whereas, early in the year you suffer a loss, you get a win, you're like, okay, hey, there's more to come. Big 12 tournament, hey, there's still the NCAA tournament. Now, I know that it's all about keeping things the same, but is there a different level of or edge to hitting the court this time around?
But definitely, this is the time of year when it's down to your last game. You can tell who the seniors are because they have a little more in the tank, and they don't want it to be the last time they put on a uniform. It's a little trickier nowadays knowing who's a senior and who's not because with the extra COVID year. But definitely, I look for our upperclassmen to do a great job leading us and making sure we're competing each and every possession.
How did the players react to? Obviously, no one likes to lose, but the dominance on the boards, and obviously you've discussed this throughout the year. The defense, of course, has struggled at times, and you look at the analytics. How have they questioned, almost in a way, if anyone has thought about they're not playing hard or their toughness? Is anything like that been brought up?
Well, I think first and foremost, if you're embarrassed, that's the best way to improve. And we were all embarrassed. We haven't been out rebounded. I had Matt Roberts look, the record books go back to 2000. So, I mean, our first year we had 5-6 scholarship players and a bunch of walk-ons. We never got out rebounded by 27. So all of us were embarrassed. And it's not something just centers or bigs or guards or play. I mean, it's all of us. As a staff, we didn't prepare them well enough for the physicality. And the good thing is, you look at it, and offensively, we did a lot of good things. Defensively, our first shot defense was 38%, which was tremendous. So we had one weakness, and that was we couldn't get a rebound. And with that, if you look in all year long, if we were getting pounded on the glass, you're like, hey, we can't rebound. But that wasn't the case. Hopefully that's an eclipse and not something that happens again. Because, again, we were second analytically in the conference offensive rebounding using conference stats, and we've been top 18 all year long offensively. And defensively, at one point, we even got up to a second or third best defensive rebounding team. And then after that, I think we're fifth or seventh after the last two Iowa State games. But my point is, if you bench press 300 pounds, it's easier to get back to 300 pounds. Mm-hmm. If you've never been there, it's hard to get there. So we are a good rebounding team. We're not a soft team. And credit Iowa State. And I think our staff did a better job preparing our players to be more successful on the glass come NCAA tournament.
Did your team get a little discouraged at the end of that one after the second one in a row and needed maybe an emotional restart?
We don't like losing. We're the 9th overall seed out of 363 schools. Played the 3rd hardest schedule. We got competitors, we got winners, and I think why we're successful is nobody is good with losing. So again, it's a one-game tournament. In sports, if things are one game, you never know what's going to happen, and that's why it's the toughest tournament. And that's why it's called March Madness. In baseball and in NBA, I mean, you're 3 of 5, 4 of 7, so the cream rises to the top. But in a 40-minute game, anything can happen, and you got to be on point. And everyone that's here is here for a reason. All of them are good, and the parity's in an all-time high in college basketball because you have 5th and 6th year guys for the first time. So if you look at all the Ken Palm analytics, fewer 18-year-olds are playing. Fewer 18-year-olds are playing on teams that are good. Most teams that are good got 22, 23, 24-year-olds, and a lot of mid-majors, other Power 5 schools got older guys. So it evens the field because if everybody's relying on good recruits, there's not enough good recruits to go around. So now how you and when I say good recruits, like elite freshmen who come in and play and sophomores who play, there's not a ton of them that do that. But there are a lot of 23-year-olds, and I think parents that have had an 18-year-old and 23-year-old probably can tell you there's a difference.
Yeah, no question. Is there a sense of a breath of fresh air that you get away from playing the battering ram or the Big 12? Does that come into play?
No question. And it's a two-edged sword. And when I say that is, one, are you too banged up and broken when you get into tournament time? And I would tell you no, because last year I think we're 6-0 or 7-0 in the first round with the Big 12 teams. But I mean, you in the Big 12 playing the round robin, everyone knows all your plays, everyone knows all your tendencies. Nothing comes easy. And when you get into the tournament, people don't have that. So things are easier as long as you're not too beat up mentally and physically to play well in advance, and you haven't lost confidence, because there's a difference in winning 5 games in a row or 10 games in a row versus coming off 2 or 3 losses in a row.
Who has to play better other than everybody? But is there a player in particular you're working on even more this week because you need him because of how things ended?
Well, I think you can say that Langston, if he's able to play, that helps add to your physicality at the guard spot, adds to your depth at the guard spot. I know John, we've been able to rest him a little more and get him a little fresher the last couple of days, and I think that will help. I think Josh has really been coming on, and I think he's going to have an opportunity to give us a lift. And then with that, I think you look at Jalen's coming off a game of 28 points, and I know people will be keen on him a little bit more, but that's what makes a great team. It's not one guy. Like as I'm thinking through this quick, like there's not one. What makes a good team is one night someone's going to shoot a little bit better than another. When you go into a game and you're worried about 4 or 5 guys, that's a lot harder to defend than if you're going in and worried about just one. And I think we have a bunch of weapons. The key is defensively and rebounding wise, are we going to be the best we've been all season? If the answer is yes, then we're going to be in great shape because we have enough weapons offensively.
On Langston, I know you'll have to wait until where it is on Friday early afternoon, but with him, based on what you've seen so far, would you say it's trending in the right direction?
He's done a lot of good things in practice, and at the end of the day, he's 6'4", and he's got a grown man body, and he's physical, and He's a really good player. So that's a good thing. Not doing anything for as long as he was out. It's going to take a little time to get the rust off, get the confidence going, and we'll see how he keeps progressing. But I know he's definitely somebody that wants to play, and if he can and he can help us, he's going to have that opportunity.
Scott, how do you feel the week is with the team when they're looking to this, especially the guys the first time in the tournament? What do you like to see that, like the wide eyes, the excitement? What's that like for a coach?
I think there's certain times of the year, like when you go to a wedding, everybody's in a good mood, right? You go to a graduation party, everyone's in a good mood. You get to March Madness, everybody's in a good mood. Everyone's excited. Everyone's rejuvenated. There's added life. And when you're in the city by yourself, you band together even that much more. We really have a bunch of great guys, and when we're together, that helps us. Some teams that don't get along when they're together longer, it hurts them, you know. So we're blessed that we have guys that like one another and want to be with each other. And the more we're with each other, the more we want to keep things going.
Scott, we had John Jacobs on. It's been a couple of weeks ago, but he was telling us about a story. We were talking about, we've seen you, like the game, the game against Oklahoma when Perry Jones was declared ineligible. We know that focus, that look you had, and I hate even bringing it up, but you know, you have been animated more this year, and you've discussed that. But what is the story about some players that were on Instagram playing flag football that got you riled up maybe back in the day?
Yeah. Well, we all know that you don't want your guys playing flag football and risking injury. And when you tell them not to do it and you find out someone did it, I think as parents, we all can relate. Like, hey, don't do your homework or do this or do that, and you find out 10 minutes later, a day later, they just disobeyed. You're like, well, we got to go up a level, right? So, I mean, obviously your first talk didn't work, so there's got to be more involved. So, yeah, that wasn't one of my favorite moments.
Hey, I'll tell you this. We asked King about it. He said that he's never seen.
King, yeah.
It was King. He said he's never seen somebody do so many push-ups so fast.
Yeah, because
I think King's exaggerating there. It might have been 15 push-ups. It was like 100. All
right. We know you're busy. It is go time. The experience of what you and your staff bring to the table and some of the players who are returning. Good luck in Denver. We appreciate you. We hope to see you very, very soon. And thanks for your time during a very busy, obviously, Wednesday afternoon.
We appreciate you guys, and hopefully we will see you either in Denver or in Louisville. So I love the confidence. So appreciate you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. There's national championship men's basketball coach Scott Drew, Baylor, up in Denver. And so we now have